What are central banks doing right now? What do we know? They're adding to their gold reserves right now. But why are nations not doing that? Why are we here in the United States? First of all, as you said, no one has any idea if we had even 1 bar of gold, 1 ounce of gold left. Many people, in fact, I would say the vast majority of people don't believe there's any gold at all. This may be true. How are we supposed to know that? There are some people, of course, and there always are, that are privy to this information. But this is a threat. This is a direct threat to our survival. Because in my opinion, look, these are real money. Gold and silver. I think not only should gold be added to the strategic reserves.
Gold will rally to a record next year on central bank buying and U.S. interest rate cuts, according to Goldman Sachs Group Inc, which listed the metal among top commodity trades for 2025 and said prices could extend gains during Donald Trump's presidency. Central banks bought a record 1,082 metric tons of gold in 2022. Those institutions also accumulated 1,037 metric tons of gold in 2023. And in 2024, central banks are currently on track to break the record set in 2022. The Robin Hood of Wall Street, Gregory Mannarino, criticized central banks as puppet masters controlling the economy. Highlighting global central banks' gold accumulation, Mannarino calls for the U.S. to follow suit by adding precious metals to its strategic reserve, advocating a return to a constitutional money system. The World Gold Council recently published a report stating that it expects gold prices to rise an average of 5% annually through 2040. In his assessment, Mannarino notes Donald Trump's proposal to allocate 5% of the budget to cryptocurrencies. He sees this lack of transparency as a threat to economic stability and advocates adding gold and silver to the portfolio. Bitcoin and gold are reaching all-time highs as the U.S. deficit continues to set records. That isn't a surprise. In 2020, the U.S. deficit hit its highest level ever of $3.1 trillion, largely due to the global COVID-19 pandemic, which caused a massive economic downturn and required substantial government support. Based on current trends, Mannarino criticizes leaders like Trump for advocating zero or negative interest rates, calling them economically destructive. Trump's campaign promised to end inflation and make America affordable again. But some policies could raise prices. Additional tariffs and mass deportations might increase wages and production costs. His plans to extend tax cuts could stimulate spending, but if they increase the deficit and federal debt, they also drive up interest rates. Now, we present the clips of Gregory Mannarino's insights from his recent interview. Before we continue to discuss this, please subscribe to our channel and activate the bell icon for timely updates.
Because central banks are in control. They're the puppet masters. They're pulling the strings. All the talk to the contrary is a deception. The same things we heard last time are being echoed louder this time. Trump's going to end the Fed. If Trump really wanted to end the Fed, the number one thing he'd be doing right now is would be adding to our so-called gold reserves, which we may not even have any anymore. A lot of people do not believe we have gold reserves. Now, instead of adding gold to our reserves, he wants to add cryptocurrencies, plural, to the strategic reserve. Look, as a crypto investor, I'm all about it. I like it. It's positive, okay? But I don't think we really need to make the United States the crypto capital of the world. Or maybe simultaneously, we could make the U.S. the crypto capital of the world at the same time. Look, if we do not return to a constitutional money system, we all lose. It's not about what this puppet is saying or what that puppet is saying. It's, we the people really need to start holding people to account here. No mention at all during the entire campaign by either one of these things about how they were going to add gold to the strategic reserves here. What are central banks doing right now? What do we know? They're adding to their gold reserves right now. But why are nations not doing that? Why are we here in the United States? First of all, as you said, no one has any idea if we had even 1 bar of gold, 1 ounce of gold left. Many people, in fact, I would say the vast majority of people don't believe there's any gold at all. This may be true. How are we supposed to know that? There are some people, of course, and there always are, that are privy to this information. But this is a threat. This is a direct threat to our survival. Because in my opinion, look, these are real money. Gold and silver. I think not only should gold be added to the strategic reserves, silver as well. Does anybody believe if Trump was saying that right now, we'd be seeing the precipitous drop that we've witnessed lately with regard to gold and silver? No, we'd see that going up too. Trump is proposing a 5% allocation of budget to making cryptocurrencies part of strategic reserves. How about 5% gold? How about splitting it up? 2.5% and then another 2. But we're not going to hear that. Why? Because it's pretty obvious to me. If we started adding gold to or silver and or both to the strategic reserves, it would counter the Federal Reserve's plan to own it all, to be the lenders and buyers of last resort. They're loading up on gold. Why should we be loading up on gold? They're fulfilling they know where we're going. Trump knows where we're going. So did Kamala. But again, why do you think people are just so blind? Why do you think that both candidates were looking to make cryptocurrency? They all jumped on that train. Trump is the king. She became the cryptocurrency queen. That's one thing. And then number two, what did Kamala do that Trump started? Look, I'm going to make sure that rates are way lower. He used that word, way. Again, he has no control over that, but he can certainly work with a Federal Reserve chairperson. What did Trump want during his last tenure? Zero. And even negative rates. Went out of his way to call the boneheads. Yep. Love that word, boneheads. Calling them boneheads because they didn't go to zero or negative rates, which would be massively economically destructive. What you said, again, how you outlined it is exactly how I outlined it too. You need a strong currency to have a strong economy. We don't have that. And we need higher rates, not lower rates. This isn't working out for anyone. But again, no one's being held to account. We don't have a market either. What we have is a clown show. What we have is some kind of freak show, and people are walking themselves now, not being led anymore, walking themselves into their own demise. And it's an incredible thing to see. But those of us who understand the dynamics in play, who maybe think a little bit outside the box, they don't like people like you and me and all people that follow our work. We're in danger. And I am surprised that people like you and I are still out here.
Market experts, including Gregory Mannarino, warn of central banks driving monetary destruction by eroding currency value and purchasing power. He criticizes the lack of leaders pushing for a gold-backed system and remains skeptical of politicians, including Trump, whose policies he sees as fueling inflation rather than curbing it. While we're not likely to see inflation challenge the highs set in 2022, inflation could rise as interest rates continue to fall. Additionally, President-elect Trump's proposed tariffs are expected to increase inflation in the short run, which could lead to higher gold prices. Gold will continue to gain value as the money supply grows. The precious metal is time-tested and has retained its value for thousands of years. However, investors should assess their risk tolerance and objectives before accumulating gold. Furthermore, Mannarino foresees the rise of a cashless, tokenized system driven by digital payment trends. He stays committed to investing in tangible assets like gold and particularly silver. Let's get back to the interview.
Man, there's always a chance of anything here, but I don't see anything right now, especially since over the last week, Tony, man, right? That would sway me into thinking that, again, we're going to see more monetary destruction moving forward. And I would love to see, look, man, I want us to return to a constitutional money system. I wish that Trump would start talking about it. I wish we would get someone that's pro-gold to sit somewhere in the Fed, but they're all against gold. Now, one that I know of, we got Lex Luthor here. I give them all like these lovely names here, Neil Cash and Carey. Neil Kashkari, not a very big gold guy. These people that dwell in the halls of the Federal Reserve, in my view, they're the enemy. In my view, they're going to fulfill their goal. Their goal has nothing to do with gold at all. We can hear a lot of talk. Talk is cheap, man. We heard a lot of the same things the last time. Didn't happen. Trump was going to end the Fed because of this, that, and the other thing. We were going to pay off the debt in 2 years. The tariffs were going to do it. Didn't work. People bought it. People buy the nonsense instead of looking at the actions. And then, of course, what they tend to do, which really bothers me a little bit, is they blame someone else. Oh, it's not his fault. It's the fault of this, because, again, it would make people look bad upon themselves. But this comes down to accountability. I sincerely do wish that we would get something like that. I don't think it's going to happen, unfortunately. I believe we're going to continue to see the mechanism of currency destruction, purchasing power, because central banks are doing it collectively around the world. They're on a race to the bottom to destroy their currency, and along with that, the economy and the people as well. Unfortunately, moving into a whole new set of rules, a whole new paradigm, it just looks like that to me. Until I see concrete proof of something different other than just talk, because, again, talk is cheap, then I'll change my perspective. For right now, first of all, even if that were to happen, let's just say we're all in the right spots anyway. My perspective on everything is very straightforward. It's very simple. We would not have to deviate from that. I mean, people right now who are following our work, they know what real money is. They understand that we need to return to a constitutional money system. But again, the threat, you have to understand, and I think most people who follow our work understand that a central bank's power resides in simply one thing. The more debt they issue to the world in the form of currency, and they're issuing it through one door, buying it back through another door, keeping rates artificially suppressed. This is massively inflationary. It also increases their power multiple fold. You want to end central banking? It's the easiest thing in the world to do. Prevent them from issuing, or the Fed in this case, from issuing $1 of debt, just one. The system would start to collapse on itself. We're not hearing any talk about that. Every single, so far at least, promise that Trump has made is inflationary.
The precious metal will continue to gain value, especially as fiat currencies crumble around it. What goes up must come down. And while some forecasts say gold prices will continue to rise in the near term, that's not guaranteed, as gold's recent price drop has demonstrated. How can individuals protect their wealth in a world increasingly dominated by inflation and economic uncertainty? Drop your thoughts in the comments section below. If you find this video informative, don't forget to support our channel and turn on notifications to stay informed about our latest videos. See you in the next video.